Look at all these beautiful footprints on the lovely wet sand. Now, these are easy to identify. I suppose they don't need any introduction. And then, of course, we have got the beautiful creatures that have left the footprints behind. Look at them all chasing and running around. Look at the little cubs getting naughty. We're having a look at us. Well, let's try and not stay away from them for too long. Let's go a bit closer. Like James said, if they venture off into any of the drainage lines today, I'm afraid, it seems as though Aubrey seems to think we had anywhere between 50 and 20 mils of rain last night. But because it was so slow and soaking, that's given the ground an opportunity to sort of absorb it and not leave the big puddles on the road. Now, we won't be able to off-road, unfortunately. It's just too much rain and we're going to be tearing up the ground. But hello, lovelies. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can only see 4 lionesses here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I saw 8 cubs. Just going to pull off slightly so we can have a look at them all playing in the road. Hello, guys. You can see the lionesses are very playful this morning. And it's just the most beautiful sound here, all the birds waking up. Oh, wow. And that's how it's done, little ones. Isn't this incredible? All the lionesses chasing each other. Obviously, they've got a bit of a spring in their step this morning. The cubs are loving it. Though I think the cubs now finally realize how little they still are, especially when you've got a big lioness charging after you and tackling you. Then you realize how little you are in the world. Isn't that beautiful? All those birds starting to wake up. It really feels as though the land has finally been rejuvenated. Of course, this is not enough rain to stop the drought that we're having. But we're just getting these constant sort of downpours, which is really helping the grass to keep growing. And that's what we need. We don't need a massive downpour of rain, though that would be nice. But if we could have, like I keep saying, if we could have a little bit of rain once a week or every second week, 10 or 15 mils, 20 mils even better, well, the grass will be back and covering every inch of Djuma and the surrounding areas in no time. Which of course will be very interesting to see how the Nkuhumas respond to this. With the grazing that starts to spread the areas, it means that all the animals are going to start to move out and the big herds are going to break up. And we'll see if they'll still be as successful as they have been over the last few weeks. I'm going to go forward again and just keep up with them. I don't want to put too much distance between us in case we lose them. There we go. Sorry, I'm just turning on the vehicle very quickly. Let's go along the road. Isn't this a wonderful way to start the morning? I absolutely love these lions. Now, where are you taking us to? Please don't go into the drainage lines today. That's also one of the reasons why I want to give them a bit of space. I don't want to sort of, I suppose, how could you influence them to go somewhere else. It's incredible how we catch these lions in these different moods. One day the lionesses have had enough and don't even want to groom the cubs because they've been such a nuisance the whole day. And then other times, like we're watching this morning, we see them really how playful they are and how they push the little ones around and sort of give it straight back to them. Now, I haven't had a good look at the females yet, so I'm not sure who's here or who's missing. Whether it's Amber Eyes that's not here. Look at that little one going up on the termite mound. Oh, that's going to be very slippery today. Be careful. You are very brave sitting up there. Remember how I've showed you before, in case you didn't miss the episode, I went to a termite mound after some rain, and I was just going to show everybody how soft the materials become. So I'm wondering if that little cub is perhaps going to slip off of there, because it becomes like a bit like clay when you add a drop of water. Hello, Naughty. Are you the king of the castle? No one's coming to play with you. You're the only one sitting up there. And that was a game that I used to play with my brothers. King of the castle. I'm going to reposition again because I think that one lioness has gone down into the drainage line. Not good for us, but let's see. Perhaps they change course again. Now, good morning, William. I know you mentioned that the lions look like they've got full bellies. They do indeed. And there's been so many buffalo that have been around here. I wonder if it wasn't from one of the calves, so from either that buffalo that they killed 2 afternoons ago, sort of in the midday, or if it's the one that they finished off just in the open of the dam. Let's just pull off slightly here. Hello, everyone. And it's beautiful and fresh this morning. It's not cold at all. It's about 59 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a nice temperature to start the day, I think. Just want to very quickly get on the radio. I think someone's trying to get hold of me. Just an update. The Nkuhuma Pride are now at Central Garicot Line Junction. It's still just myself here. Copy. I think you must try Fugger Jumbo, because if they go into the drainage, I think it's going to be tricky. Just letting Aubrey know that I think he should maybe put his foot right down on that pedal and try and get here as quick as he can. Because like James said, we don't know how long we're going to have these Nkuhumas for. They could be here, but in the next 30 seconds, they could disappear down into a drainage. And we hope that they don't do that, of course. Something has got the lioness's attention. They're all looking, listening. Now, one of the lionesses actually went off and down into this drainage system, sort of east of the big pans. So I wonder if she perhaps didn't hear something else down there in this drainage line. I mean, there could be a number of animals around. There could be buffalo, there could be kudu, really anything. Wildebeest, zebra. Let's reposition again, though. Now, I want to count and see how many cubs we've got here. They've been running around. I haven't really had a good look yet. And Nina, as you've said, you haven't seen the floppy little cub, my favorite little girl. I've got her. There she is, sitting just on the other side of the puddle. But we'll get there. Not that one. Oh, wait, move out of the way. There she is, all curled up. What's wrong with you today? You don't look very happy in your jolly self. Maybe she's a little bit cold. My beautiful girl. Let's see if someone's going to play with her. No, she doesn't seem to be as playful as what she normally is. Maybe she's a bit tired. Remember, she is one of the teddy bear cubs. Maybe she didn't enjoy the rain so much. There we go. You're going to get some sibling love. Unlike us, we had lovely warm beds to keep ourselves nice and dry. But these lions would have had to have tried to find a big tree or something. Oh no, she's waking up now. There she is. Now she's playing. Whee! Isn't that beautiful? No, there she goes. She's perked up again. Oh, look at the one at the tree. I think she's getting she's got into trouble. Obviously not listening to the instructions that were given. Just wants to claw the tree. And this lioness is not really allowing for that. No, they're too big to pick up. You can't pick them up anymore. You can see it's funny. I always think those little ones look to be a little bit embarrassed after they get reprimanded or sort of pushed over and told to come and get groomed. And we've got it. I'm going to go forward again though. Seems as though, I think that other lioness has actually come out of the drainage, is one that's just walking out of here. Oh my goodness, look how high they are in the tree. It's like we caught them doing something naughty and now they go, oh my goodness. They really aren't gentle with the cubs anymore. It's like they're teaching them, right, this is how you have to behave. You get bowled over and pushed around. I think they're going into the drainage line now, which is not good for us. I'm going to let Aubrey go past very quickly. Aubrey, I think Famba in case they disappear. Okay, we're going to quickly reposition because I think we're going to lose them now. Let's see. Yeah, they look like they're going to go down into this drainage line, I'm afraid. Very squeaky brakes. This may be the last sort of look we have for the moment. We'll try and keep sticking with them though. Hopefully they go straight down into the drainage and then we'll get them popping out into the sort of fluffy sand. I'm wondering, the cubs are all playing around. It's sort of very hard to try and keep up with them. Perhaps we should go down here. I think if we wait in this little dip, maybe we'll get them coming through. Stop squeaking, brakes. Very rude. Let's go along to the other side and I think we'll get a gap. Here we go. You can see them all. You can actually pop onto the sandy bank here. There's a lioness coming down, all walking around. Hopefully they'll come straight back towards us. One little cub coming down to have a little investigate. What are you looking for? Looks as though it got something in its mouth that it didn't quite like. And off it goes again to carry on playing with its siblings. Okay, I'm going to go back again because I think, Dave, if we go around we might see them now in this dip. It's very difficult. We're going to have to do quite a bit of this morning. So tough. There they are. Can you see them coming up onto the other side of the bank? We're just trying to get a view a little bit. Just to try and get the perfect spot. Good. And there they are. And you can see the lovely little drops of water on all the trees surrounding them. Oh, it's so much more impressive, of course, when you see the adults sort of playing with each other, because then you see the sheer force that lions are really capable of. Right, but let's very quickly go across to James, who has got a very wet bird, I'm sure, this morning. So we patiently just waited here and sat until they came out again, because they did disappear for a couple of minutes. But patience is the best thing in the bush, of course. Now, they're not too, well, actually quite a distance away from us, and they seem to be up and down quite a bit. So we'll just hang tight here. Like I said, today, because of the rain we've had, there's going to be certain roads we're going to avoid, of course, as well as us not doing any off-roading. Now, this is obviously my personal preference. Typically, we don't off-road even after 10 mils of rain, and I suspect we've had a little bit more than that. And it's just, we don't want to sort of ruin the grass, the potential areas where grass is going to be grown, because as soon as you sort of go treading over that, well, that's the end of it, and then you create a new road, and we've got to try and rehabilitate the land. So we'll try and avoid doing any of that. We'll just take a little bit of a distance view. I know it's not the greatest, but at least we can still see the fluffy cubs and the big adults. Now, I wonder where the other lioness has gone. I also hadn't had a proper chance yet to look at who's who in the zoo here, and I wonder where Nat.Geo and Nkuhuma have disappeared to. Because the last time we saw them, it was just Nat.Geo with the females, and Nkuhuma was nowhere to be seen. And it's typical. We see them running around and chasing each other. And then, of course, the little ones settle down after that sort of sugar buzz has finished. And they go and they have a relax and a little siesta. But because it's nice and cool, I suspect that they're going to be up and down for most of the day. Now, Velma from Michigan, you're wondering if I can tell who the cubs belong to. There's still a little bit of a difference. You can see that the two oldest cubs, obviously now it's unfortunately a bit hard to show you exactly what I'm talking about. But the two oldest cubs are almost 6 months. They're probably 6 months now in November. And, well, they're much larger than the others. They also don't have that very sort of fluffy look that the three little teddy bears still have, though they're losing that as the days go on. And then, of course, the three sort of middle children, well, they don't look as fluffy. They're almost starting to look like the two big cubs. It's quite difficult when you see them sort of separated from each other. The three teddy bears are still the easiest to identify. But when you have the oldest cubs on their own, it can be a bit tricky to try and tell who's who in the zoo, because those middle kids they're catching up in size. It's incredible how fast they do grow. Now, I can't see all of them. I can just see a couple of them, of course, but I suspect that they're all in the area somewhere. And this is a really wonderful spot to sit, of course. Sit down in the drainage. You can hear anything that's moving along. And I suspect that that's what they're going to do. Because remember, lions are opportunistic feeders, and they don't know when they're going to get their next meal or have an opportunity to take down their next meal. So even though they're just sitting here grooming themselves, just taking a little bit of a rest, if they hear anything, they will definitely respond to it. I'm trying to catch alates that are flying in the vehicle, but I'm not quite quick enough. But I'll get one. By the end of the day, I'll catch one. They've gone very, very quiet now. One of the lionesses came bolting out. Where are you going? Maybe they're going to start moving again. she's carried on going across the drainage line. Hopefully they'll pop back out onto the road again. Now, if you look very, very carefully, you can see sort of, looks like strange little things flying around, the lions. Those are the alates that I was telling you about. And there's big ones, there's small ones. I've seen there's at least 2 different types. We'll try and catch some. Ha, ha, no. Darby, open your mouth. Catch it with your mouth. Trying to get Darby to catch them, but he's not cooperating this morning. No, come closer. I get one. No, I'm not quick enough. I'm not like Jackie Chan or anyone like that that's got the biggest and quickest reflexes. They're possibly going to come back towards us. There's a couple of them that are up. Come here. Come here. No. So if you hear crinkling, it's me in my waterproof jacket trying to catch an alate. Okay, no, they're not cooperating. And this is where you just have to be patient, just to wait for them to come out. Now, I've had quite a few of you asking if I'm going to name the little floppy-eared lion. Let's just move forward very quickly. My favorite little girl, and I know that Dale was wondering just that. Floppy ear, I think, is quite fitting. However, my only concern, I'm just going to pull off the road here. Let's see if they're going to come out. I don't think so. Just want Aubrey to get past us. I'll quickly tell you about what I'm going to try and do. So I'm a little bit uncertain because in the southern pride, so this pride that lives down in the south of the Sabi Sand, you can see them moving along there. Now, there's a lion called Mandlev, and she too has a floppy ear. And her name is either floppy ear or Mandlev, which means ear. So I'm a little bit uncertain if I want to just take that name. Of course, it's very fitting. But what do you think? Do you think it matters if there's 2 lions that have sort of the same name? She's a very old girl. She's probably right at the end of her lifespan now. She's about 15 years old or so. So maybe she could be the new Mandlev coming up. But let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Mandlev, floppy ear? I think we need to have a little discussion about this. But James has got something with spots.